Hey, Pamela. Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Sunday. Hey, Chris. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Pam, I hope you had a nice birthday. And Christina, still praying for you and your family. Okay. Of course, as I always say, I'm not going to be on here long. Let me see. I'm up to 5 people. I only see 2. I see Pam and Christina, so I'm not sure who else is on here. But happy Sunday to you guys. I'm sure, like you all, it's hard in the summertime to get on because so many things going on. Kai has baseball on Sundays, and so I've missed you guys. I hope you guys have missed me. But I'm just, as usual, just jumping on right quick just to talk about a little something. And then I'm going to give you all back to your Sunday because I actually have a class at 7 o'clock. I think I mentioned to you all that I was taking a class, but I couldn't remember the name of the book. Hey, Seal. This is the book that we're reading in this class I'm taking, When Women Pray, by T.D. Jakes. It's really good. So it's talking about 10 women in the Bible, breaking down their life. Hey, Felicia. And different things like that. So it's real interesting. Mimi Armstrong is leading the group on Facebook, and so we're on chapter 8 today. So again, won't be on here long, but I just wanted to jump on right quick because everything just been so crazy, and just wanted to encourage you guys, especially you all that are mothers. It's time for, get ready for back to school mode. Y'all need to start getting the children in that mindset of wearing the mask all the time, trying not to touch as many things as possible. It's such a scary time that we're in, but I just wanted to really encourage y'all. Like, I don't know. Okay, God, I'm trying to listen. So, one of the chapters in this book we're reading, today's chapter actually is Rhoda. If you all are familiar with Rhoda, that's in the Bible. She actually is the person who gets excited that Peter's out of jail, and so she runs to tell the others and forgets to open the door. It seems like she doesn't have a really significant story in the Bible. I just remember being excited because my mom's name was Rhoda, and so I was excited to see my mom's name in the Bible. I remember calling her and telling her that her name was in the Bible, and she didn't believe me. But anywho, this chapter, T.D. Jakes breaks it down to help us to see that great things happen to ordinary people. So Rhoda was just an ordinary servant. It wasn't anything, significant about her in the Bible other than she was a servant at the house where a bunch of people were gathered together praying that Peter be released, that they don't kill him, because they had already killed some other people for their faith. And so they were all praying in agreement that Peter not get killed. And so Rhoda's kind of, like I said, she's the servant, so she's kind of going around tidying up the house as people are praying and putting out fresh water and fresh fruit or whatever so people can snack as they're sitting around just continuously praying. And so I thought it was really interesting how T.D. Jakes took such a small character. Somebody, again, Rhoda, didn't have a whole lot to talk about in the Bible, but the fact that where he expounded on it was she was just an ordinary woman, but she made herself useful, so she was in the right place at the right time. And so I just really wanted to jump on. I jumped on just to talk to y'all because I hadn't talked to you in a while. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't even prep to do anything as usual. But when I got on, God told me to share what I learned from that chapter. to encourage you all that to be okay with being who you are, ordinary. Like, don't try to be nobody else. Like, Rhoda was an ordinary woman, but she was in the right place at the right time. Make sure you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, and good things will come. She was able to witness. She was able to say, I'm the one who opened up the door. I'm the one that went back in the house and told everybody else that Peter was alive and he was free. And so because she was in the right place at the right time, look how she was able to be mentioned in the Bible. So let's just make sure that we're in the right places at the right time, doing the right things in life. Don't let life keep finding us doing wrong things. Don't let life keep finding us doing wrong things. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes from time to time. Like, you know, again, school year getting ready to start up. You can talk to your children from that perspective. Maybe they had a rough school year, especially last year with Corona or whatever. And things have changed. Things have changed a lot. And so I don't know if life will ever go back to what it used to be. I think this is kind of like our new normal. But nevertheless, maybe your children had a rough school year. And so you want to encourage them to not go into the schoolhouse this year with that mindset of what happened last year. Maybe you all struggled in relationship-wise. Maybe you didn't quite know how to deal with the at-home schooling, and so you screamed and hollered and cussed and said some things you shouldn't have said. Before school starts, before they go back to school, spend some time praying with your children. And if you've not asked for them to forgive you for how you said it, and in the manner in which you said it, spend some time doing that. Set your house in order. That's what I want to say. Set your house in order for this school year. One of the things I loved, and again, y'all know that when God got me on here, I'm just on here sharing things that I experienced raising my children. So at the beginning of the school year, I would always take the first day of school off, and I would always clean my children's room. Like, they would come home the first day of school and they would always have a brand new comforter. I would even sometimes go so far as to paint their walls or whatever, but freshen up their room and do everything I needed to do as a parent to set the stage so that they would be in position to do what they needed to do at school. Another thing I wanted to share is I always had a drawer at home. Like, in my bedroom, I actually took one of my drawers and made it a school supply drawer. And so all throughout the summer, I would buy things that they possibly would need. Like, I would stack up on notebook paper. My children a teacher never ever have told me that they came to school and they said they didn't have any notebook paper, because no, there were at least 10 packs of notebook paper, pencils, markers. As they got older, of course, those things changed. But when they were younger, it started off with scissors and Crayolas and markers and everything they needed to have a great school year. It was in that drawer. And as I would go to the store and see different things, I would pick up things along the way. And sometimes it was things that I didn't know that they may possibly need, but it was in the school supply section. So I would just pick it up and buy it. And sure enough, I would see eventually before the school year was out that they had purchased it. So I just want to encourage you all. Was I a perfect mother? No, absolutely not. But I promise y'all, I'm going to die saying I absolutely enjoyed raising my girls. God was good to me. And the sad truth of it is, that's not something I experienced growing up. My mom didn't make a drawer for me. Nobody sat and prayed with me before school and helped to get my mind ready for the new school year and taught me how to pray for my teachers or pray for my schoolmates if they mistreated me. No, none of those things. But for whatever reason, God placed those things in my heart to do them with my children every morning. I'm sure some of you all are familiar with the Daily Bread book. Every morning, me and my children, I would make them take turns reading the Daily Bread book. They would have to take turns reading it because, of course, I'm driving. So we would take turns reading it, and somebody would have to pray. And then I would make them, as they got older, tell me, what did you get from that? What did you get from that? So those are things that, because I'm a grandmother now, and so I deal with Kyle from a little bit of a different perspective. I don't take him to school, so I'm the one that picks him up in the evening, and so I'm usually asking him how was his day, and So what did you learn, and if he got in trouble, and so what did you learn from that? Like this, toward the end of the school year, he had gotten in trouble like a couple of days in a row. And so I used the illustration. We were driving. I said, Kai, you see that red light? And he said, yes. And I said, if Mimi don't stop at this red light, what's going to happen? And he said, you'll get a ticket. And I said, yes, what else could happen? And he said, you could have a wreck. And I said, yes. I said, that could happen also. And I said, and then I also could kill you or kill somebody else. I say, even grown, I have to follow directions, because he see me, like if you ask Kyle, he'll tell you I don't work. Because I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm at home doing things that a lot of times he don't see. Like I have to explain to him sometimes he can't come in my office because I have an anger management client, or I'm on the phone with someone or whatever. Or he'll see me selling books and he's seen me selling perfume, but he doesn't see me going to a 9-to-5 job, so he doesn't quite comprehend it that way. And so I always have to remind him, Mimi, as grown as I am, I have to follow directions. I have to follow rules. I still have to comply with the rules and regulations of this world, even being grown. And if I don't, I get into trouble. And so that's how I talk to him from that perspective. And I love that I'm able to talk to him in such a calmly, grandmotherly way. Well, no, that wasn't the case with my children. I was much firmer with them. But I love that I set a foundation that I now see Kayla building upon. Like they pray together in the morning, but she also does affirmations. Again, remember I told y'all I was almost in my late 30s before I even got to a place where I liked, let alone loved myself. So I didn't know anything about affirmations. I think I said before, many times before, that my niece from my previous marriage, Jonisha, everybody call her Poopy, she actually is the one who introduced affirmations to me. She younger than me, and she was the one doing my hair. We would have wonderful conversations. She introduced the word affirmations to me, and she started saying, Amy, just start speaking affirmations of your life. Start doing this, that, and the other. And so that's a nugget I'm throwing out there too, that, you know, you need to be around the right kind of people so you can get the right kind of information. And then you want to pass it on to somebody else. Now, I'm definitely a huge advocate of affirmations now. Well, how did that come about? I had to be at the right place. I was sitting in Jonisha's chair many years ago, getting my hair done. And she spoke that into my life, and it became a part of my life. And then I started sharing. Now, who knew? And I'm telling y'all, that had to been, let me see, if Jada is 28, that had to been about 20 years ago. So if that was 20 years ago that Jonisha spoke it in my life, did you think that I knew that I would write an affirmation book later on? No. That's why I paid to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. We're not going to always be in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, but we need to be more in those places now than we were before. We're getting older. Like I'm 53. It don't make no sense for me to still be doing the same foolish things I was doing at 33. And so I want to go back to the parenting thing. I want to make sure that I emphasize to you all, like, prepare your children to be successful this year. Take that control. Like, pray with them. Talk to them. And then listen. Oh, my God, listen to them. Let them talk to you and explain to you how they're feeling about what's going on with the mask and what's going on at school. And one of the things that when I was a little girl, I loved to eat with my dad. And so when my mom and dad divorced, I wouldn't eat dinner. My mom would have to call my dad over to eat with me from time to time. And so one of the things I didn't do with my children that I do regret, and it's something that Kyle really loves. Like just the other day, he said, Mimi, can I stay and eat dinner with you and Papa? And I said, well, we don't really eat together no more because I hardly eat, and Papa comes home late, and so he kind of eats by himself. I sit with him, but I don't eat. For one thing, that's a whole nother issue. When I cook, I lose my appetite, so I can't eat. But anywho, it just kind of saddened me because that's something that Kayla has instilled in him, and I had not been doing. I'm good, and I don't, you know, of course I feed him, but I'm not sitting and eating with him, and he wanted that. He likes that. He loves that. And so I'm encouraging you all to sit down and have dinner with your children, eat with them. Those are, you'll see those commercials when they say that's the best time to have conversation with your children. Cut off the TVs. Don't allow the cell phones to be at the dinner table. It doesn't have to be a actual table where you sit. Y'all all can be sitting at the coffee table. Y'all all could be standing around the bar, but make sure that there's some time where you all are engaging in conversation and that you're listening to what your children are saying. Listen, notice their body language. If you all are talking about certain things, or and watch the news together. That's something else that that actually my sister actually taught me. That was watching the news, paying attention to the news. And my children used to fuss. They used to be like, why we can't look at such and such in the morning? You need to pay attention to, we used to watch world news in the morning before going to school or whatever. Look at the news. Talk about what's going on in the world, the current events of the world, so that your children will know how to have intelligent conversations with people other than just the normal silly stuff that they say and do. Engage them in conversation. One of the things I wrote on Facebook earlier this week is, did you all have your children to read any type of book this year? My dad, so of course he would, I'm trying to remember. I don't think, you know, when they sent home the little piece of paper back to school, I mean, during the school year, and you would pick out the books or whatever. For whatever reason, I didn't get a whole lot of those books. I don't know. I don't know if I didn't push it, or my mom didn't have the money. I don't know what the situation was. I just don't remember getting a whole lot of books. But my dad was an advocate of reading. He loved to read. You came in his house and my poor stepmom would be just like, oh my gosh, I'm inundated with newspapers everywhere. So I love to read, of course. One of the things my dad did have me to do as a little girl, he would give me the newspaper and he would give me a hard article and he'd say, read that to me. And so, of course, when I would be stumbling over certain words, he would say, sound them out. And he would make me learn how to pronounce those words. I even recall him making my brother from my other set of sisters and brothers. His name was Ronnie. He would come over on Saturdays and cut. My daddy would make him cut the grass and wash the car or whatever, and he would make him sit down with me, and he would say, if she can read that better than you, then you're not reading where you need to be. And so he would challenge me and Ronnie, and so we would have a little debate. And I don't know why God dropped that in my spirit to remember that about my brother, because I don't have a really, really close relationship with him, so I don't even know why. But going back to the reading part, you don't have to necessarily buy books, although books are really cheap. They're $1 now at the dollar store. But you can use a newspaper article. You can use magazines, but always encourage your children to read. Going back to me with the Daily Bread book, making my children read, that was something that helped them read. Those words were not always everyday ABC 1, 2, 3 words in the daily word book, because the book is really made for adults, right? So there were words that they were not always able to pronounce, and they would say, Mom, how do you pronounce this? And they would spell the word out or whatever. And dictionaries, that's another thing. It got to a point where it would be a fight in my house with Kayla and Jada, because somebody would always forget to return the dictionary and the what's those other books called? Darn it. Concordance and all that type of stuff. They would forget to return the books to the drawer that I had for back to school. So it got to a point where I would have to buy a dictionary every year, because some kind of way, and I'm going to really blame it on Jada, because she probably was the one that I would find it under her bed at the end of the school year. But anywho, those are things that are funny now. But the dictionary would always come up missing. And so I noticed as they got older, I would have to, yes, Kayla, thank you, encyclopedia. We had encyclopedias. And so you need to put all of that accessible to your children so that they can be successful this year. These are the things that I did. And again, I'm not on here trying to say I was a perfect mother, but I did a lot of things that I think helped my children be successful. And I feel like God had me on here to share these things with you so that you'll be successful. Like, you do everything you need to do. So one of the things I would tell my children all the time, if you screw up, I got full game to get in your behind, because I made sure everything was here for you to be successful. There was nothing when computers came into play. as expensive as they were, I think my brother gave my children a used computer. And as time went on, I invested and bought one, got on a payment plan with, was it Microsoft or somebody, and got a computer. All the things that they needed as they grew, I made sure those things were accessible to them. So I'm encouraging you to do those things. Maybe you didn't think that far. It's not too late. Go to the dollar store tomorrow and get a little box or whatever and get everything you think your children may need. Just simple things so that if they're in the middle of doing a science project and they were all of a sudden, they need construction paper, they need scissors, they need glue, they need the... and I'm telling y'all, I'm old and my mind is bad. What's the little thing? You stick it in the pencil and you turn it a certain way to make a circle, all that kind of stuff. Kayla probably gonna correct me on this, but anywho, like just go down the line and just pick up everything you think your children may need so that they'll be successful. Buy a dictionary, buy a concordance, buy all the things that will help them do what they need to do so that both of you all can pat yourselves on the back at the end of the school year. My children made great grades. That was not because I was smart or because they had me, because I didn't do a lot of homework, my children. I didn't know how to do a lot of things, but I made sure that everything they needed was accessible to them. If they needed a tutor, I did what I need to pay to get them the help they needed. It's our job, parents, or it's y'all job, parents, because my children are grown now. But it's y'all job to make sure that these children have everything they need to be successful. So I'm encouraging you to do that. I started off on here telling you about Rhoda, the lady in the Bible, the book that I'm reading with this group. And what I was saying was that Rhoda was an ordinary person who just happened to be in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. Well, then I need you as a parent to be in the right place at the right time doing the right thing this school year. Help your children be okay with getting to the first semester or the end of the school year and being excited about showing you their report card, or when they run into, because you see older people in the grocery store and they'll say things like, well, how was your school year? What kind of grades? Why your child got to put his head down and be shamed? Help them raise their head up. I ran into two young ladies last week at an event, and I asked them, they were just passing around the tables, just looking at different stuff. And I said, so did y'all do y'all summer reading? And they was like, no. And one girl looked at the other girl and she just kind of giggled. And I said, did y'all have summer reading? And they said, yes, because I know when my children were growing up, the schools would give you books that you needed to read. I remember one year about to lose my mind because some book Kayla needed, I couldn't find. And I had to order it from somewhere or something. And so anyway, I would get on their butts. I would be like, okay, so we midway through the summer, have you did your summer reading? So back to these two young ladies, they were laughing and giggling. And one of them was really being a little kind of like a smart, but she was just like, no. She was like, I didn't read that book. Really? That saddened me. I didn't say anything else because, nowadays you can't say a whole lot to other people's children. But I was just like, that's sad. That's sad. I hope that she wasn't one of y'all children. I hope not. Y'all need to get in there right now. If your children didn't do summer reading, y'all better get on Google or something and get the highlights of the book or something so your children will halfway know what the teacher talking about when they go in the classroom the first week and says who did their summer reading, and they'll know somewhat of what the book is about. I mean, they behind the gun at this point, but it may not be too late if school haven't started for your child to get the book and hurry up and try to read it and maybe read it with them. There were times when Kayla and Jada had books that they didn't enjoy reading and I would read it with them to help. Or there were times I remember them having books that they really enjoyed that they shared with me and I read the book. It didn't happen a whole lot of times, but I remember one time Kayla or Jada, it probably was Kayla. Jada was such an independent child that I don't recall doing a whole lot. My children were like night and day. But I think it was Kayla that had a book that she enjoyed, and then I wound up reading the book after she read it or whatever. But nevertheless, and then for those of you all who have children that are seniors, I'm telling you, these children tend to put their brain in a drawer their senior year. You all need to remember they've waited all their lives to get to this moment. All their lives, they've been talking about getting to graduation year. So I know firsthand, they literally, like, they take their brain out and stick it in a drawer. You have to think for them. Why would you have gotten them this close to the finish line, and then you step back and say, I'm not going to help you any further. You need to figure it out yourself. That drives me crazy when I hear parents say that to their children their senior year, like, you need to figure it out. You need to fill out the scholarships. No, you need to help them. Y'all have gotten this far. Let's get over the hump together, because everything they do that's successful is a blessing to you too. Remember that. Everything that they do that benefits them also benefits you. So don't drop the ball now, parents. Don't drop the ball now. If you see that your children are struggling in some kind of way, there is so much help at these churches now. Dana, darn it, I'm horrible with names. I can't think of Dana, but the Dollar Tree over here at the old outlet, she actually has opened up a building where she's tutoring children. Get help for your children. Don't be so busy buying them all these school clothes and they looking good, but they have nothing up here. Sweeney. Thank you, Kayla. Dana Sweeney has a school right there in the parking lot at the down the side. I walk from that Mexican restaurant in the Dollar Tree, the old factory outlet. And she tutors children. She helps children. That's what she says God has called her to do. Help her business. Help her help your children. Go get help. If you're not good with math, I don't know how many times I've paid tutors for my children. So please, use the money that the government is giving you wisely. Do what you need to do for your children so both of you all can be happy at the end of the school year. So that's my spiel on that. Y'all know I don't stay on here longer than I need to. I jumped on not really knowing what I was going to talk about. I just know that I missed you guys. Hadn't been on in a couple of weeks. Like I said, Kai's been having baseball games. And to be completely honest with you all, I'm kind of at a place where it's a little quiet in my life. I don't know where God is moving me next. And so I've not been saying a whole lot of anything. I'm taking some classes to further understand where it is I need to go in life. But in the meantime, I need you all to take what I've said and use it to whatever benefit that it can benefit you. If you're like me and you don't have children anymore, but you have grandchildren or you have nieces or cousins, please ask them to watch this video to just pick up on some tips and things that I've said in this video that will help them, help their children have a successful school year. One of the things that frightens me is these children are our future. If we don't help them be successful, then it's going to hurt us as well. Because they're the ones that are going to be governing how we're going to be living in and what's going to be going on with us later on in life. So let's help them be successful. Don't always talk about how they know how to dance and shake their butt, but you don't know for sure if they know their multiplications or their ABCs or 1, 2, 3s or whatever level of education they are. If you know you struggled in school, then be real about the matter and help your children get help. The help is out there. I love you guys from all the healthy places in my heart, and I hope that your heart is getting healthier also. Again, if you're looking for something to read, this is an awesome book, T.D. Jakes, When Women Pray. I'm about to jump off so I can grab something to eat, and then my class with Mimi starts at 7, and I'm excited to talk about an ordinary woman named Rhoda who just happened to be in the right place at the right time doing the right things, and I hope that will be the case for you this week too. If God say the same, I'll see you all next Sunday at 6 o'clock for Soul Searching Sunday. Love you.